Hello guys, nice to meet you. My name is Nizar. I'm from Marrakesh, Morocco, and I'm very happy and humbled to be with you here at NFC. I want to start by thanking the technical guys who are doing amazing since yesterday. They didn't stop working. Thanking the team of NFC Lisbon who is doing an amazing job. I've been doing most of the talks in the world, and I can tell you that this is one of the best that I have seen in terms of crowd, so thank you so much for being here. We will be talking today about utility, about if it's a trap, if it's a scam, what does it involve, how does it impact art, how does it impact collectibles, and we will be having with us Zeneca, Coinbilly, and Sky Golpe. And maybe Orlando is going to join us, but I know he has a booth, so maybe it's going to be difficult for him. But the good news is because he's not here, so maybe we will be able to grab two of you with us on stage. So if you don't know how it works like that. We will be sitting, so guys, just go for it. Yeah, just don't die now, you know? yeah, just feel free, where the energy flows. Yeah, go. Yeah, yeah, of course, you can take it. No, keep two because sometimes I might grab two people. So the main idea is we will challenge you on some questions, asking if you like, don't like, agree or don't agree. And I'll grab someone who wants to come and talk, and we're going to be challenging you this way. There is a Discord. You got to take the QR code that is supposed to be there, and then you can ask questions. I will be looking at the questions, but also our guests will be looking at the questions as well. So the first thing that I want to know is if you were to rate yourself on the NFT space from 1 to 10, and say 1 to 5 is that you feel you are a newbie, and 5 to 10 you are a good, like someone who knows. So 1 to 5 is red, and 5 to 10 is green. How do you rate yourself, please, so that just we know? Okay, so we can't bullshit you, huh? Right? Okay. Fuck, it's yeah.
All experts.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, the main idea is to challenge you and start with you being challenged right now. Who thinks utility is the backbone of an organized scam? If you agree, green. If you don't, red. Yeah, I know. You challenge me, I challenge you.
Is utility a scam?
Good. So you think it's an organized scam? Come here. Come here. Come. You motherfucker, come. Come. You're welcome. So Orlando is not here, but you're going to be seated with us somehow. So we'll start with Zeneca first.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's going to be working. Yeah, you'll have your time to talk. So Zeneca, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you love about the space, and then...
Yeah, I mean, so much there. I'll try and keep it brief. So I'm Zeneca. I've been in this space for about 2 years. Early 2021 I got in. Before that I was a professional poker player. That was my background. What am I? What do I do?
You were a professional poker player.
I was, yeah. But like in this space, I guess I'm a content creator. I have my own company, community, Zen Academy. So we really focus on creating educational content about NFTs, crypto, Web3, blockchain, all of that. And it's evolved a lot over the last 2 years. I mean, 2021 was a lifetime ago. But yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell, and I'll pass it on.
It became somehow normal to say what we do and the way we do things as if it was normal. But you were a professional poker player, then an artist.
Everyone always gets
NFTs,
stuck up on this.
talking on stage. I mean, guys, we're doing something extraordinary in this space, and we have to be always aware of that. This is not normal. I mean, when I meet people around the world, they say, "What do you do?" I try. But no, what's your job? I try. Because that's what we're doing. We're trying few different things, and that makes this space very spicy. Coinbilly, please, who are you, what you do, and what you love?
Coinbilly, I am part of the Random Character Collective team. We launched Invisible Friends, Slim Hoods, Mood Rollers, Kith Friends, a bunch of other collections. We help artists grow their communities, and yeah, I do all the things from marketing, community management, partnerships, and yeah, that's what I'm about.
Yeah, and you say it like that. Yeah, we helped cool cats, scary guys, invisible. Yeah, you know, Sky Golpe.
Hi everyone, this is Kai Golpe,
Yeah, not Sky Gulp. He was like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
exactly.
please, it's Sky Golpe. Okay.
because the American way generally is Sky Gulp, which is kind of cool, but that's not my name. So Sky Golpe here, I'm an artist that works with several medium, digital art, physical art, installations, photography, and I found myself minting my first token in early 2020, and NFTs completely changed my life in a way, because that's where I managed to create a very strong market around my works, and it's an extremely exciting journey because it's so merged with technological innovation that the pace that everything is moving is very challenging. Yeah, so I guess pretty much that's my intro.
I'm curious about one thing. If the market dies, okay,
Yeah.
which will not happen, but
Well, it
imagine,
is.
how would you feel? Like, because it says it changed my life. Would you feel like lost, or would you feel empowered because
Well, I guess that what happened to me was in a way so extraordinary and amazing that I could never be upset or, you know. And, you know, being an artist, to be honest, as long as I would manage to preserve my creative process and my way of being an artist, I wouldn't really, you know, be that upset, I guess. But if you ask me, I don't see digital art going anywhere. Because, you know, there is also a big distinction between NFT, which is a technology at the end of the day, and the digital art, the digital market, the digital art market that it is now shaping up. And that's about to become a crazy industry.
so
on
you
the
really
top
see
of,
it as two different things? So for you, it's two different things.
I mean,
or-
what I believe is that is thanks to NFT that for the first time in history, a digital art market was created. Because for the first time in history, a digital content or a digital piece of art could be authenticated. So this simply before wasn't existing. It didn't exist. So I guess this is the reason why it was such a good use case for NFT to be attached to digital art. But as you probably all know, digital art is simply one of the many use cases that the NFT technology can actually offer to several markets and industries.
I don't agree, but that's a point. That's a good point.
Well,
I'll-
why?
I'll
You
tell
don't
why.
think so?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, we will
Go
have
on.
time.
Ah,
Please,
okay.
can you
Sorry, I
just-
thought that was a debate.
No, I'm
I'm
coming.
joking.
I'm coming to you.
Coming after you.
So I guess you should introduce yourself
Yeah,
at this
please.
point.
Yeah, please. Who are you? What you
GM, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day.
GM.
My name is Victor. I'm just someone you know on all the social media and founder of Stone Tigers, currently building something special for you. That's a little bit about me. I joined NFTs in August 2021, and since then been helping a lot of artists to achieve success and growing our community, providing fun activities and cool prizes for people that love to vibe and play games.
Amazing. So this is your project, right? Yes. So this is utility,
Yeah, being
and
Stone.
you still think it's an organized scam? Please,
This is actually an interesting
please
question. Yeah.
let us know.
So
We're here for you.
the thing that I wanted to say is that very often the utility causing more trouble rather than being very useful, because not all communities need it. So if I would ask you what the utility in Amigos has, other than just being a cool PFP and IP rights, like do they need any? Do they need to develop the game? If they would say that they're developing a game, would it be higher probability of it being scam? Because there is actually promises that have to be fulfilled. So that's why 99% of the projects are actually dropping off, as they don't fulfill the promises that they think they're going to be able to execute. So that's why.
But that's a picture of the present. From
Yeah.
your point of view, you look at the present and you say, because it's like that, then it's a scam. But the fact that utility brings some sort of value, the fact that it's misused might not necessarily make it a scam. So
Yeah.
it's just that we're misusing a good idea or a good way to do something. Like a knife can be used to cut meat or to stab someone. You're saying like we're stabbing everybody.
Yeah,
now with
I
utility.
think we're just stabbing on too early stage rather than let it to be developed organically out of the wants and needs of the community formed together with the founders once the visions aligns, because that would produce the stronger floor prices and the stronger community going further and pushing the project as well, since they feel that they are a part of it. They took the part in decision making. That's why it's important, firstly, rather than just pointing with a finger and saying we're going to do X, Y, Z, if you got a community going, then just ask them what they would want to see. You may get 1,000 opinions that will be better than yours.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll ask you to leave because before that, I'll ask you who agree with him, green, who does not, red. I'm not going to ask anyone to come on stage, not yet. So, yeah, okay, it's half-half.
It's 50-50.
Okay, so you did a good job. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
Thank you,
a lot.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
Thanks. My next question goes to you guys. So do you think the focus on utility in projects impact their long-term value as collectibles? And I'll start with Seneca.
Yeah, I think, especially for collectibles, utility is a trap. Like, the more utility there is, the less value there is as a collectible. And I think of it as like...
Go deeper into this one.
Yeah,
please.
like, are there external, what's the word? It's like external dependencies. The more external dependencies there are, the less likely it is that the NFT, the token, will have long-term collectible value. So if you think of Bored Apes versus Punks, you know, classic example. Punks, no utility. They exist. No one is asking when airdrop, when staking, when party. It's just they were the first 10K PFP collection. A community formed around it. They were an art project, and people own them because they want a piece of history, of culture, of collecting this thing. And no one has to do anything, really, for value to stay.
Execution risk.
Execution risk, exactly. Whereas with Bored Apes now, if all of a sudden there was never anything done for the Bored Apes, the roadmap doesn't exist, the metaverse, the gaming, the floor price would tank. And so they have all these external dependencies. So I think purely from a collectible point of view, and you look at this with like art, like autoglyphs or some of the earliest generative art or one-of-one art, adding utility to it is a risk, execution risk.
Yeah, but the fact that it's a risk is not a bad thing. As long as
No,
you
not at all. Like, Bored Apes are obviously doing fine. It's just, as a collectible, like if I were to buy something and be like, I think this is gonna be valuable 50 years from now, 100 years from now, I'm way more likely to choose a Punk than a Bored Ape, just because a Bored Ape's value depends, at this point, on the team continuing to deliver. And especially if you look at like an even more recent project where they're promising all this kind of stuff, there's all these possibilities to fail. Where if I were to go and buy, I'll take an even better example, an autoglyph, the first on-chain generative art. It's like, I think that will survive forever as long as the Ethereum blockchain survives. So I don't need anything to happen. There's basically no risk, and it's very likely to do well long-term, whereas other things have increased risk, which can potentially lead to higher upsides, but, you know.
I think a good reason for that is utility and promises bring in certain type of collectors, you can say, while no promises and just buying something for collecting, there's no expectations. So it's a different type of collector, different type of holder base, right?
Yeah, I would agree with you 100% if I didn't have the Sartoshi thing in mind. Sartoshi, for M-Furs, the promise was nothing but motherfuckers in your wallet.
Yeah.
But then when he left the space, everyone was like, oh, but he left, so what's next? But at first I just gave you something that's a meme and I promised nothing, but when I close my Twitter account, there's what's next. So maybe utility became another piece of art and not necessarily just merchandising or the access of something. So the expectation is always here from the point of view of, so that is why I'm putting some kind of colors in here saying people will always expect something from you. So either you give something valuable to them, which is, because we were asking here, what is utility from room to back? And I think it's really cool because, yeah, if you don't explain to people what is utility, then there is no subject. But utility is basically how you can utilize what I gave you. So the NFT becomes like a vessel to enter some sort of space to receive different kind of things and different kind of experiences. That would be my defining of utility. Do you guys have another way to define it? Maybe Sky Golpe, you have another way to say it.
Yeah, but I think you're right in a way, because if you think about it, NFT is a utility. Because now all of a sudden, so let's take my field, so which is a little bit more related to art. So now a collector not only owns a piece of art, but this piece of art is automatically as in the form of a digital token, which is your digital wallet. So in a way, it is a basic idea of utility, which is intrinsic in the technology itself.
Yeah, you cannot
it would be
extract
like-
one from another. You cannot
Yeah,
extract them.
so it would be like, I don't know, if you have to run a marathon and you have the car and you just decide to, I don't know, to walk. So I guess in what you were trying to say is that this ecosystem, it is already shaped up and built in a way where tokens will sort of lead to something, because tokens are transferable, they travel in the blockchain, they are attached to your digital identity, which is another very important factor. So I guess, yeah, it would be a little bit too simplistic
Yeah, I
to
think
just say that utility is not there. Having said so, I never ever liked the word utility.
Yeah, because
Like,
it becomes,
I hate it
here's the problem.
because it's so transactional.
Ye-
You know, sorry, just to let you go, just one thing is I came up with this, while I was brainstorming for this panel, actually, just trying to put thoughts, I thought, how cool would be if we would replace it with usefulness?
Do you want my
You know?
opinion? I'll tell you, if you use another word, it will become trendy and you will start to hate it.
Yeah, never
That's
mind.
exactly the way it
But what
works.
I'm saying is just that I guess there is the reason also why the word utility is so hated, because there is this transactional flavor attached to it, which makes it, especially for people that also are in the art side of the NFTs, to kind of feel it a little bit like not so pertinent somehow. You understand? So
what
that-
you're saying here is
that's
very
my point.
pertinent, very pertinent, because it takes me to the other question. You have to know that these questions were designed by us. So the way it works, NFC Lisbon decides that the Emperor is going to be the moderator, and then we decide to discuss this. So we had the discussion and designed this question. And the next question is, are NFTs primarily serving as a mean of expression and creativity, or are they primarily viewed as an investment tool with utility features? So that means, are you buying something that you want to flip anyways, or are you buying something that you want to hold that gives you something back? And I'll go with you, Coinbilly, maybe to start with this one.
So I would say in the current market, people are buying as an investment. People are asking you, like, what should I buy next? What can I sell for more next? I don't think that's going to last for so long, personally. I think in the future it's going to be more about digital collectability rather than, using digital collectability as an investment. It's going to be more like you're going to be consuming digital assets versus collecting. I mean, it's collecting and consuming, but you're going to be constantly buying them and building your collection without the purpose of reselling it. That's how I think it is. Right now, it is you're buying it to reselling, but
But use Seneca, for example, as a former poker player. Do you think we can close the casino? Because I believe when people get addicted to something, you cannot close it. That's my belief. And you, because of being a poker player and having this knowledge.
Yeah. So this space is the amount of, in terms of volume, I think the majority of the volume is people gambling. In terms of individual humans, I'm less certain. I think there's far more collectors and appreciators and artists and creators, but the vast majority of the volume is speculators, and that's the case. And you're right, you can't stop people gambling. It was, it was ICO phase in 2017. It was DeFi summer and all the random coins, and then it was NFTs, meme coins, ordinals, even before crypto, penny stocks, people, sports betting, people human nature is to gamble for better or worse. And some people are drawn to that, some people are not. And that's one of the biggest issues stopping us from going mainstream is that there's so much gambling in the space. Most people don't want to buy an asset that then drops 50% in price. Most people want to buy something and then know that that's what it's worth and that they've got value out of it. So I think that where we are right now is still, in terms of volume, largely gambling, and it's not great, but it's not going to be like this forever. It's like every year that goes by, there is increased regulation. And like regulation is like, people sometimes think of it as a bad word, but regulation is good. We need regulation. We need to like have rules and restrictions for companies and individuals and marketplaces and everyone to, you know, regulate this space so that scammers and rug pullers aren't left, right, and center taking retail or casual participants' monies. It's going to take a while, and we want sensible regulation, not over-regulation. But I don't know if that answered the question.
But you know what? You know, you did. What's amazing here is that, in my opinion, we created an asset that is tradable and is subjective. When you're trading on sport, there's some kind of lecture of this team is better, this team is not better, they're gonna play, they're gonna be a winner. If you play poker, there's some sort of design thinking of how do I play a hand, reading my co-players, but here we're speculating on subjectivity. I like, I don't like. But if you add utility to that, then you add some sort of metrics to measure a project. So maybe utility is a way to protect from craziness of subjectivity in certain kind of a way.
No, I mean, that's absolutely correct. It's, if you have a project that tells you, Metabrew Society, really great example. They're a company, they sold an NFT every year. If you have the NFT, you can redeem it for like 240 cans of beer. It's like real utility. And what it means is that the price of the NFT, the token, is kind of like pegged to the value of beer and what people think. And so the price doesn't go up and down, it just kind of stays relatively stable. And that's great. That is what we should hope for. The problem is 99% of people want to buy something that goes up. And so when a team tells you exactly what they're going to do, it reduces the possibility for speculation, and generally the floor price goes down because they're not sending you 240 cans of beer a year. They're telling you there's like all this utility that they make up that's actually not valuable to people. So
yeah, there's a big difference between promises of utility and then actual utility.
Delivering, yeah. It's
like promising utility, that will drive up prices. Like promising you're going to airdrop a coin. Like the other day there was a mint on OpenSea and it sat for like an hour, and then they tweet out their name with a money sign behind it. It mints out and it pumps like 10x just because they put out like that they're going to drop a coin. Like no one wanted it, and then all of a sudden they're dropping a coin. There's no reason for someone to want that coin.
Yeah, but it's an opportunity to flip.
It's an opportunity to, but like there's no reason for someone to want that. But because they're promising that something's going to happen, like people are going to flock to it. And then once that happens, there's no way it's going to, last. There's no way like it's going to sustain that because no one wanted it before. What's them to want it after,
Yeah, makes sense. Let us challenge the public for now on a question. Are utility and art not compatible? I absolutely don't have the answer, to be really honest, and I challenged myself a lot yesterday before I slept. So do you think utility and art are not compatible? Yes, I agree. Green. No, I don't agree. Red.
So is green saying that utility and art are compatible?
Yeah, I lost myself here, I know. I challenge myself too much.
That's the right answer, I guess.
yeah, right here.
Both
Yeah.
sides.
Now, are utility and art not compatible? Yes, I agree. Green. No, I don't agree. Red.
So basically, is art utility?
I have no idea what I'm saying.
Is art utility? Green,
Art is
yes.
the utility.
Green, yes. Red, no.
Yeah, I think the way it's formulated,
Yeah, it's
bad.
confusing.
yeah, because I'm French speaking, and I try to speak English for like 2 weeks, and it's very hard for me. So come on stage. You, with the sunglasses.
Art is.
Come with us. Please, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and how you understood the bad question that I just asked?
So, my name's Martin. I'm actually a DeFi dev, but have got an interest in like NFTs and the space and what's going on around it. I'm going to answer the question. So, the question I'm going to answer is art and NFTs, sorry, no, is utility and NFTs compatible, right? And I guess the way I think about it is, you've got, so many NFT projects kind of look at NFTs as a way, so you look at utility as a way to grow the project, right? You know, a game, a toy, whatever it is, like anything they can think of to try and create almost a world around their NFT project. And that's okay, but the question you need to ask is, does the utility serve the art? If it doesn't serve the art, all of a sudden the art becomes inauthentic. And people can feel that as well. They can feel, oh, this isn't a true expression of art. There's something behind that, right? As opposed to when you look at a utility, and it's like, wow, it complements what you have. It's almost, I'm trying to think of a good example, but I mean, I think the biggest example is like maybe your iPhone, for example, right? It's art because the designers that love designing the iPhone and their apps, but also it's a utility we use it every single day. So that's my take on it.
But is art utility? Like if an NFT project just launches...
He's going to challenge you like me.
If an NFT project launches and says, this is an art collection, right? Is that utility? To collect it.
So there is a meta like play, which is to say that like all art is utility, right? Because everyone, you know, you buy art to be able to express it and enjoy it. But at the end of the day, it's art, like the difference between art with utility and art that has no utility is that like the art that has no utility, quote unquote, which I do believe the art does have no utility. It's purely for the expression, the emotional expression of the art itself, and nothing else. It is culture, as opposed to art with utility, where it's more than that. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree, and
Thank you so much.
I personally think that if we analyze it on a sort of conceptual way, art can definitely not be utility, in my opinion, because it's meant to be the opposite of utility. And at least from my personal point of view, I can generally recognize art when there is not a useful meaning to it somehow. That's when I really feel art, because I don't have to understand. I feel it. And so if you see it in this way, I think that we are talking almost about a paradox somehow of the terminology. But if we start to talk about the art market, that's when things definitely start to differ. But also I want to say, because you are a developer, so you touched on a very good point, utility can also mean to contribute to the piece of art itself in its creation, because it's a very, I don't know, maybe not so clever, but very fun example was when Damien Hirst entered the space, and he just decided to basically, you could buy the NFT, and then till a certain point, you could decide to burn it through a physical performance in a gallery in London, which was very cool. So if we want to put under utility these sort of initiatives, then also utility can be much complementary to art.
So you say...
If we are talking to sort of pure level, but then when we start to interact with the market, I think the utility, as you were saying too, can really serve many dynamics, many possibilities, and many opportunities for viewers and for artists.
But it would still be art for you? Like,
It's like
if you look at Tom Sachs,
it's
for
like
example.
analyzing things on two different points of view. Okay, because when you talk about things like, I don't know, art, God, you know, all these absolute concepts, it can never be so extreme into the definition of the meaning, because, at least for me, like I chose to be an artist because subjectiveness is what I use to define reality.
Okay.
So that, you know, I hope that answers the question,
No,
because it's like saying, I don't know, bread or butter type of thing, you know? It's like, of course, if you're on diet, yeah, probably you go with bread, but I guess these are so unique and subjective concept to people that it's really hard to categorize in this heavy, you know, kind of spectrum in my opinion.
It not only answers the question, but it raises another question,
For sure.
which is because you say people are buying art. We talk about community. We talk about us. We talk about this space. But that notion of utility, isn't it like the tool that keeps the people involved in what you're doing? Because there is an expectation, there is like a dynamic created between the artist and the crowd, which challenges the artist to go out of what he knows and create something that is bigger than him with people, meaning it might change the way we're doing art. It might be something that we do together. And there is an amazing project that I've been introduced to. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's called ada.art. They will be talking at 5:40. It's absolutely fantastic. They started like 5 or 6 years ago. And it's an ongoing fresque that you start painting yourself. And you sleep, and someone continues with your line. And then you go, and someone else continues. And it's a piece of art that is made by us, for us, with us. So this is where maybe it might be going. So my question to you guys is, does utility keep the crowd interested and involved, or once again, it's just like a scam? If you agree, green. If you don't, red. No. Yeah, green, it keeps involved, yeah. Red, not really. Oh. We have 2 reds, so I'd like you, we have 3 reds. You know what? You, and you, come.
So I see a question on here that I'd like to answer.
Go for the question, and then people.
It says if we look at RCC, what I'm a part of, Invisible Friends, is the one with the more utilities, you would say. So do I think if that is the one with the highest floor, which is like the most hype? And I guess to answer that, I also want to say what RCC is all about. RCC is about, we never really promised anything more than the art, more than the animation, but we did promise that collectors of our previous collections get access to the future collections, which I guess you can call that utility. You know, collectors get to collect more. Invisible Friends was a special case because it launched during a special time and it had the most attention, and I think NFTs in the current state is a game of attention. So that attention let us, get collaborations like Kith, launch, get sponsors like Shopify and Snapchat for events and stuff like that. So I think that attention that Invisible Friends had, definitely, I would say that is one of the main reasons Invisible Friends is the highest floor. I guess it's the one with the most hype because of that attention. I wouldn't say it has the most utility, but I would say it has the most attention. So
okay, but floor matters. Would you say that the floor is the right metrics?
So personally, I don't put floor and success on the same metric. Like when I look at something, I like look at what they're offering and what it would do for me. But I do know 99% of people do, put floor and success on the same page.
I think it's going to change. I think this main idea of floor might be changing, but that's the mechanic that OpenSea put in the market. And they gave us the tool to become stupid.
Yep.
That's what I believe. So yeah, guys, very happy to have you with us. So I'll take one mic more. I'd like you to introduce yourself one after the other. I know you cannot stand, so that's right. Maybe you can come here because there's the camera, so at least we can see you as well. So who are you, what you do, and then you tell us why you think utility is not keeping people involved.
So I'm Chewy.
Golfing. So LinksDAO is like, if you're talking about utility, they provide the most utility, I would say, if you like golf. And I don't think floor price really reflects that, which is very cool to see. Like that's sort of what I was saying, where I don't think floor price and success really, go hand in hand. But that's probably one of my favorite projects right now. Favorite artist, again, I won't say one of the ones we've helped launch, but I'll say maybe DK Motions, great animator. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much. Skygold?
So as NFT art project, I must go with Matt Kane project, Gazers. I guess that's the correct name, yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Art blocks.
yeah, that's it's really like one of, and then it was so early when really like utility, but also coding and generative art was not so relevant as it is now. So for all these reasons, and on the top of the incredible aesthetic, and it's a dynamic project as well. So it changed on the Bitcoin quotation. So it was like a very early project and it's really OG and very, very great. And as artists, I mean, there are so many talents, you know, in the space.
You have to say one. You have
Yeah,
to play the game.
I'd go with my brother Jesse Draxler.
This is really cool. Armin, can you give?
I just like following what I was saying. I would mention the name of an artist that managed to do what I was explaining. Contemporary artist based in Milan, Italy. His name is Fabio Wake. That's like, I love that guy.
Perfect. I'm not gonna play the game so that I, you know, nobody's angry. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Wait, the picture, wait. Come. Hey. Super. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.